first and last name, please?
Judy, Judy, Weldon, Weldon.
Okay, Judy. Just briefly tell us who you are and how you would like to be identified. You can keep looking at her.
Mm-hmm. I am a retired second grade teacher who was at Cleveland School in 1989, January 17th, when a shooter came onto our campus and killed 5 of our students and injured 30 others, including a teacher.
Okay.
As a second grade teacher, recess had just begun. The kids were all on the yard. I had run to the office for something, and I was on my way back when several people started screaming, "There's a shooter on the yard," and locked down the office quickly, and I needed to break through that lockdown to get back to my kids in the classroom. A do-over.
Yes, ma'am. If you don't mind.
No, that's fine.
Excellent.
So it was the middle of the morning, late morning, recess time, and as a teacher, I left the classroom, went to the office quickly, and at that time, several people came running in, yelling that there's a shooter on the yard. They locked down the office. I had to push through the lockdown to get out, to get to the classroom where my children were.
What's it like living with an experience like that?
The experience is difficult at times, and those times are when new school shootings occur and other shootings, such as in grocery stores or places of worship or movie theaters. So whenever there's a large shooting, the time is difficult.
This is obvious. As we spoke before, some of these things are obvious.
Mm-hmm.
What connections do you make between the Cleveland incident and the Uvalde incident?
Both incidents involve children, primary school children. And when we first started our group, Cleveland School Remembers, we started in response to the Sandy Hook shooting, which also involved first, second, and third graders. I understand the Uvalde shooting involves mostly fourth graders. But it comes right back to you. Right back.
We'll talk about the group.
Say something that may seem totally weird, but I think it's time for a nationwide day of action. And I'm actually going to call out Moms Demand Action for this, because our legislators are not doing what they need to be doing. We voted for them, we put them in office. At this moment, 90% of all Americans, this is data, 90% of all Americans want universal background checks. And we cannot get our legislators to sign the bill. It's been sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk for 2 years, unsigned. President Biden will sign it. So I'm asking, if it was me and I still had children in school, I think I would rally parents, keep your children out of school on the last Friday of every month. I know it's financially difficult. If you can afford to do that, keep them home from school for one day. And when the Congress and the Senate can get their act together and put common sense gun violence prevention laws into effect that will make a difference, then we can keep our kids in school. If it's not keeping kids home, maybe we don't go to the grocery store where there are also violent shootings. Or I don't know. I'm inviting you, the country, the nation. Let's do a nationwide thing. Marches and protests and letters to our legislators aren't obviously working. Our legislators they're not up to the task of protecting our kids.
Now we're going to talk about the group. Why is the group organizing? What's the name of the group? Just say
Okay.
it. I know it's obvious.
Yeah, no, it's not obvious. Cleveland School Remembers was formed in 2013, just a couple of months after the Sandy Hook shooting in 2012, where 20 primary school students were killed and 6 educators. We survivors of the Cleveland school shooting from 1989 decided we couldn't sit around and watch these things continue to happen over and over with nobody taking positive action for improvement. So we work with legislators, we work with local leaders and many, many agencies to help prevent gun violence, whether it's working with gang people or stop suicide, so suicide prevention people. Those are the kinds of things we do. We're constantly writing, constantly publishing. We are now a chapter of the Brady Campaign, which is a national group, and working hard on all different angles. This is an event that is a repetition of events dating all the way back to 1989. It should certainly never have happened, ever. 1989 should have been the anomaly, but it wasn't. And I'd like to say that out of this event, as with all the others, these children, these innocent lives are gone. They'll never have an opportunity to attend a university like this beautiful Pacific. They'll never have an opportunity to be held by their parents, to be read to by their siblings. All of those opportunities are gone, and all of their parents' hopes and dreams are gone in an instant. When we have the power to make this stop, it needs to stop. Done. People need to put themselves in the shoes of the kids who were killed, in the shoes of the students who witnessed their friends and their beloved teachers being killed. They need to put themselves in the shoes of the parents and of the neighbors and the friends of all of these people. And if you can't put yourselves in their shoes, then I don't know. I lost it, sorry.
It's okay.
If you can't do that, then you shouldn't be in a place of office where people depend on you to make the right decisions. The right to bear arms is a very old institution. It doesn't apply in these cases. Number one, many of the shootings involve an automatic weapon. Many of the shootings involve a very large magazine. All of those things were created for war. And there's the other piece, the war. I'm sorry I cut you out.
No.
So, yeah.
You can say wherever you feel comfortable.
Yeah. So you need to stop going back to the Second Amendment. It doesn't apply here. These things are not Second Amendment violations. They are violations against humanity. And the Second Amendment was, at that time, talking about a musket in the back room on the prairie or down the street from Paul Revere. You know, it's a whole different ball game. Okay, so again, looking at the people who have to run from the bullets. It's over 600 people in Vegas had to flee the bullets. That alone is a lifelong trauma, whether they were injured or not. So if you multiply, how many people are fleeing bullets every single day? How many? We can't even calculate all that. So if that's a lifelong trauma, how many people are we putting into trauma situations by allowing this? There's never going to be enough counselors to take care of everybody. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to say was that.
Well, take a step this way for me.
Sorry.
What's your message? What do you like to say?
So in this world, we deal with famine, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, all nature's wrath. And we expect deaths when those things occur. We do. We expect that to happen. It's still a trauma. Then there's also war, where we have conquering generals, and we have people who want to create empires and who don't care about slaughtering innocent people. That's war. Well, I am here to say that in this country, we are now at war with our legislators who do not care, who just want power, control, who don't care about what the masses want. We vote them in, we ask them to do things that are right for society, and they negate everything we ask for. So let's I'm glad the NRA is nearing bankruptcy. I am sorry that, again, we the people have allowed the NRA to funnel so much money into our legislators, thereby enhancing their run for power. They have made so much of an impact, even suggesting to legislators that the legislators don't contribute to the CDC, don't contribute to those funds that are necessary to study the impacts of gun violence on society. I mean, that's been a closed issue for years. It's now being refunded, but it was the NRA that made that happen. So I'm not a fan. And I'm sorry for those members who are true responsible gun owners and responsible hunters, but not some of them. In a perfect world, guns would be restricted to those people who are responsible owners. They would not be accessible to the general public. They certainly would not be accessible to people under the age of 21 or 25. That we would be able to go places and not fear, that our children would be able to go to school and not have to even deal with active shooter drills. Even that is traumatic for children. So we go to the grocery store, we want to be free of fear. We go to the theater, we don't have to look around and see where the exits are. Those are the kinds of things that would happen in a perfect world.